Okay, so today we're going to be talking about how to solve a linear equation. So there's three main skills that we need to know in order to solve linear equations. The first is how to simplify. So when you're asked to simplify, all that's really asking you to do is to distribute if there's anything to distribute and combine like terms, and then that's it. That's simplified. So for this example, we have this 3 outside of the parentheses, so that 3 is distributed to everything in the parentheses and it's multiplied, so 3 times x, 3 times negative 2, and then we still have our 4x at the end. Then we combine any like terms. So we have 2x terms, leave us with 7x minus 6, so that is simplified. You're still going to have variables in your answer. It's not going to equal anything. Simplifying is just when you distribute and combine like terms. Then you have to know how to isolate a variable or get a variable by itself. Get a variable alone. And to do this, you do the order of operations in reverse order. So in this case, right, with gems, we start with any addition or subtraction, go in reverse order, get rid of that, so we would add 2 to both sides. And then we do our multiplication division, so we divide by 4. So x equals 2. Now depending on the problem, when you're asked to isolate a variable, if there's only one, then you're going to have that variable equals a number. If there's only one variable, you'll have like x equals a number. That's going to be your answer. If you have multiple variables, then you're still going to have variables in your final answer. You're just going to rearrange them. So it just depends on the situation. Sometimes your answer will be a number, sometimes your answer will just be a rearranged expression. Okay, and then you need to be able to evaluate. This is helpful in checking your answers. So if we did our solving and we said x equaled -1, to solve it, we could plug that -1 back in for x. And then, so you plug in and solve using order of operations. So 3 times -1 plus 4. So we do our multiplication. 3 times -1 is -3. -3 plus 4 is 1. So it's a way to check our answer, is to plug in our answer and see if we get what we're supposed to get. So another thing I want to write off to the side here, when we're solving, or if you just have another separate sheet of paper like on the back or something, you have a couple options for your solutions. So solution number one would be if you solve it, you get your variable by itself, and you get x equals a number. Cool, done. Or the variable, whatever the variable is, equals a number. Solution number 2, you're solving, you're trying to get the variables by itself, but the variables all cancel, and they're all gone. And then you're left with a true statement. I'll show you what that means in a minute. And you're left with a true statement. So for example, you're solving, variables cancel out, you're left with -1 equals -1. Well, that is true. That's always going to be true. They are the same number. So when this situation happens, then we have infinite solutions. And our solution number 3 is all our variables cancel again, but we're left with a false statement. So for example, you're solving, all the variables are gone, and you're left with something like 0 equals 3. Well, that's not true. It's never going to be true. This is false. 0 does not equal 3. If that's the situation, we have no solution. Okay, so again, 3 options when we're solving. Either you just solve it, you get x equals a number, cool, you're done. Or you're solving, the variables cancel, but you're left with something that's true, like -1 equals 1 or 0 equals 0. That means you have infinite solutions. Or you do your solving, the variables cancel out, and you're left with a false statement. That's when you're going to have no solution. Okay, so let's do some examples. So example 1, so we need to solve for x. So again, the first thing we need to do is simplify. We need to distribute. We need to combine like terms. So first, just start on 1. Just do one side of the equal sign at a time. So I have 2x minus 6 minus 17. I can combine these like terms here. And let's do our other side. Distribute our -3. So -3x minus 6. Again, we can combine our like terms. Now we need to combine like terms across the equal sign. So we need to get all the terms with our variables together and on one side and all the constants on the other. So it doesn't matter which side you move the x's to. You could subtract 2x from both sides or add 3x to both sides. I like to keep my variables positive, so I'm going to add 3x to both sides, but it doesn't matter. Then we just need to solve for x, so order of operations in reverse. So we add 23 to both sides, and then we divide both sides by 5. So you get x equals 6. Okay, and then if you want, you could check, you could plug in 6 in for x into your equation and see if those two sides of the equal sign equal each other. So it's a good way to check your answers if you want. Alright, if we look at example 2, we'll do, actually I want you guys to go ahead and try A, B, and C. Go ahead, try A, B, and C. Alright, and so letter D I wanted to do just because it looks a little different, or the answer is going to end up, we're going to have one of those weird situations where it's not going to be a number. Just want to show you what that looks like. So again, we can distribute. Combine like terms. Then we need to get our x's together, so I'm going to minus 4x from both sides. But now those x, our variables, cancel out on both sides, and we're left with just 6 equals 6. So this is a situation where the variables cancel. We have no x's. X's are gone. And we're left with 6 equals 6, which is a true statement. So that means we have infinite solutions. Infinitely many solutions. So just on the flip side, to kind of see what that would look like for the no solution, if we were solving and we ended up with like 4x plus 6 equals 4x minus 8. And again, let's get our x's by itself. This is a separate thing. Let's subtract 4x from both sides. They cancel. We're left with 6 equals -8. That is false. They are not the same thing. That would be the no solution. So just being able to recognize if you get the no variables, they're all gone and it's false, no solution. No variables, they're all gone and it's true, infinitely many solutions. Everything else is going to be like we had up here and with the other 3 where you just get x equals a number. Okay, so then there's going to be a couple quick check questions, self-assessment, and bring any questions you have to the Google Meet.